Jeff Stafford, I'm so glad to have you on TCM and sort of reveal my secret weapon to everyone. Thank you for being here.
It's an honor.
Now, I call you my secret weapon because as of right now, you are a researcher. You also check the facts on all our scripts, but you were present right at the launch of TCM. Tell us about the launch day.
Back in 1994, I had been working for TNT as a writer-producer, and I was asked by a person who was staffing up for TCM before the launch if I'd be interested in writing the TCM daily menus. And of course I said yes, I'd love to do that. And so we started working on the production probably a month before the station launched. We were trying to get a lot of content created. And then the day of the launch, we all assembled, it was the freelancers and the entire TCM staff, in a conference room over on William Street. And on-air operations flipped the switch, and the very first thing that we saw was a 10-minute featurette that was by Chuck Workman. And people probably recognize that name. He's the one who does the tribute montage at the Academy Awards. Ted was up in Times Square in New York making the announcement with Robert and with Jane Powell and with Arlene Dahl and Van Johnson, Celeste Tome, and Arthur Hiller. It was a historic moment, and all of us, I think, realized that we were doing something important, you know?
Yeah, and it still is amazing all these years later. And you have been involved with the network in various capacities throughout the years. You also ran the website.
I got offered a full-time job at TNT as the website manager there. It was a new thing. We were all kind of learning our way as we went along. But it was a great experience because I was able to build content up for some of the popular franchises at TNT. Then a position opened in the website at TCM, and I was with the channel until 2012, and then I came back in 2014 on a freelance basis as a film researcher and a fact checker for the studio unit. And that's what I'm still doing today.
Yeah, so he's going to do live fact checking for me as we go. If I say anything wrong, Jeff's got my back. Tell us about what your role as a researcher and fact checker today means. I think a lot of people watching don't realize that our scripts go through several processes before they get on air as intros. And we have, luckily, people like you to double check our work.
When I first started, a lot of the material that, you needed to have to fact check was only in books. And of course, once the internet came along, there were other information streams, but there was also the mixture of, accurate information and inaccurate. And so that stuff has to be checked. And sometimes you can't verify something and you just have to say, okay, have Alicia say allegedly,
exactly.
or reportedly, rumored that. That's one way to get around those things when you're not going to ever find out what actually happened. It's fun because you're always learning stuff, and then you're forgetting it and learning again, So
it truly is the dream job. I love doing the research. I love learning about films and watching the films. And I really enjoyed watching and rewatching your pick for us today. It's Real Life, which is the Albert Brooks mockumentary from 1979. And this film is so funny. It's also right on the money when it comes to reality TV, which would become, in the decades following this movie, very much present in all of our lives. Tell us about why you chose this film.
Well, I'm a big Albert Brooks fan. I think he's just such a multi-talented artist. I mean, he's, a comedian, and he's a screenwriter, he's a director, and he's an actor. This was his first feature film as a director, and I felt like it never got the attention it deserved. It's a little bit sophisticated for
just... It's very subtle in its humor, like very deadpan. Yes. So let's take a look at the film. Here it is from 1979, directed by Albert Brooks and starring Albert Brooks, Real Life. Jeff Stafford, that was your pick, Real Life, the great Albert Brooks there. And I love the way his manic energy really contrasts with Charles Grodin, who is so subtle in his humor.
Charles Grodin was a great actor, and he was so skillful at comedy because he had such a different approach to it. He was always just a little bit deadpan, just really overlooked actor.
And what I like about Real Life is that it touches on the idea that reality TV can never be real because you always have cameras present which changes the outcome and changes people's personalities.
I think that the whole idea of cinema verite, which, was very popular in the 60s, and that was kind of the way this was shot. People thought it was more realistic because they were living their lives with these people filming them. But in this movie, the cameramen are so obvious. I mean, they look like they just landed from outer space. I mean, every time I see those guys running around, I start laughing. But of course, the director, unlike cinema verite, he's actually trying to control the whole situation and make it more dramatic. So it was a complete satire of the cinema verite style.
And a great, Gone with the Wind ending, which links back to the launch of TCM because that was the first film that we showed on TCM 30 years ago.
That's right.
So you've worked at the channel now on and off for a long time. You were there right at the beginning when it launched. To you, what does TCM mean in your life? What has it given you?
It's given a lot of us careers that we, never thought we'd have. Because the channel launched here in Atlanta, and then people were hired locally. If it hadn't launched here, some of us might not have had TV careers at all. But the fact that we were part of building the channel in the early stages and to see how far it's come has been amazing to see the influence it's had. And if you're a movie lover, being able to do film research and get paid for it is just, it's unbelievable.
And of course, it all started with Ted Turner.
It started with Ted Turner, and I'd like to say thank you, Ted, for giving us our careers, but also for making TCM possible, because we wouldn't be here without you creating it.
Well, Jeff Stafford, thank you so much for all of the work that you do at TCM. It's really, really appreciated, and for joining me on TCM tonight.
Thank you so much, too.
And that's it for us. But coming up, as always, after the break is another classic movie, uncut and commercial free.
Next on TCM, Zelig, then Simon, and later, Penn and Teller get killed. TCM sends our condolences tonight.